The deadly shooting rampage at an historic black church in South Carolina is being investigated as a hate crime tonight. Police arrested the 21-year-old suspect in neighboring North Carolina. They say Dylan Roof joined the Bible study at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston for an hour last night before murdering 9, including the pastor, who was a state senator.
Well, people here at home and across the country are struggling with the emotions of that horrendous tragedy and praying for the victims.
7 Action News reporter Tara Edwards takes us to a vigil in Detroit.
Some walk in for prayer and instead of praying are prayed upon and don't walk out.
Many praying today may not know the victims, but their hearts are filled with sadness.
9 people lost their lives, but 9 families, our lives were turned upside down.
Dozens of people gathered at Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Detroit for a prayer vigil for the victims and their families.
I couldn't get here fast enough. I began praying harder last night when it happened.
But to have come into their Bible study and sat with them for an hour, and then you get up and you start shooting people.
The vigil, organized by local pastors, including Detroit City Councilman Pastor Andre Spivey. This terrible tragedy hits close to home for him. His good friend, South Carolina State Senator Pastor Clementa Pinckney, was one of the victims killed in the shooting. Pinckney even gave Spivey advice when Spivey was running for public office.
Our lives parallel, same age, same children, two children, wives. We pastored in the AME Church together, both elected officials, and we preached together, traveled together, so I loved him like a brother.
Meanwhile, as Charleston tries to heal from this tragedy, local pastors say the nation needs to as well, and come together to work on ways to improve race relations in this country.
Some people are calling this a hate crime, but I fundamentally believe this is an act of terror. KKK activity is terror activity. Timothy McVeigh was a terrorist. And so we talk about ISIS and Al-Qaeda, but what about racially motivated domestic terrorists?
And Pastor Spivey says that a group of pastors from Detroit will be traveling down to South Carolina next Saturday to support those families affected by this tragedy. In Detroit, Tara Edwards, 7 Action News.
ABC